It's been 35 years since Ridley Scott's ambitious sci-fi film noir Blade Runner hit theaters, to a less than desirable reception from both audiences and critics alike. Over the years, and around 4 different cuts of the film, the once box office flop turned into a cinematic masterpiece as audiences began to understand it more. Scott himself declares the final cut as the definitive version of the story he wanted to tell, and is, in fact, the best version of the film in my humble opinion. It's one of those films that gets better on repeat viewings, and I find myself revisiting it every few years or so. Blade Runner 2049 is directed by Arrival's Denis Villeneuve. It takes place 30 years after the events of its predecessor, and now we are following a new Blade Runner played by Ryan Gosling, simply named K. He's hunting down older model replicants due to their unpredictability. Replicants in the present day of 2049 are made to follow orders and do whatever they are asked by their owners, thus having their free will taken away. And that's honestly all I can tell you story-wise, as the press were specifically asked not to mention anything in our reviews about major plot twists. These twists begin to unravel within the first 2 minutes of the film, so this is going to be a tough one to review. Let's get this out of the way. Blade Runner 2049 is not the action explosion heavy blockbuster it's being marketed as. Is there action set pieces in the film? Yes, but they are far and few between, to say the least. The opening action scene in particular was a standout for me, with remarkable sound design and having an authentic grit feeling to it. Every punch feels real, with little to no action choreography to be noticed, grounding this futuristic drama in some semblance of reality. This goes without saying, but I can't praise enough about the legendary Roger Deakins' breathtaking cinematography, gorgeously consuming every frame of the almost 3-hour runtime. The implementation of practical effects mixed with CGI are seamless, transporting you into this nuclear winter-esque world that is directly comparable to the original classic. Deakins deserves at least an Oscar nom, if not win, for his remarkable work in Blade Runner 2049. Ryan Gosling is expectedly subdued as the mysterious K, having a lot of internal struggle that Gosling showcases through the most nuanced mannerisms. I can see some complaining that Gosling has no range in the flick, mostly staring, as he typically does, at anyone or anything he's communicating with. Once you've seen the whole movie, this is most certainly on purpose, and when Kay does have brief outbursts of emotion, the payoff is more than satisfying. Harrison Ford gives a surprisingly dedicated performance as he reprises the role of Rick Deckard. Again, I can't give too much away, but I will say that Ford's inclusion in the film is 100% story-oriented, never once feeling like a glorified cameo. You can tell that he genuinely cares for the character of Deckard, resulting in one of the better Harrison Ford performances in recent years. Jared Leto's presence in the movie is brief, consisting of monologue-heavy exposition, practically doing a Christian Bale as Patrick Bateman impression in American Psycho, that Leto was also in. However, it's Sylvia Hook's presence that takes the villain's spotlight in 2049. Her portrayal of the always intimidating Love is nothing short of remarkable, going toe-to-toe with the likes of Ford and Gosling in both the physical and emotional aspects of her acting capabilities. My biggest grievance I have with Blade Runner 2049 is its slow as molasses pacing. I get that the original Blade Runner has a similar tone and pacing, but, again without getting into spoilers, the difference here is the payoffs. In the 1982 classic, the pacing was building to emotionally climactic character moments that had audiences begging for answers to this day. Theorizing and dissecting the events of the first movie was part of the genius and cult following amongst movie buffs who declare Ridley Scott's noir a masterpiece. In 2049, however, it takes its sweet time filling the 164-minute runtime with establishing shots and one too many subplots to truly feel invested in. I also feel like I'm doing the film a disservice of critiquing it on that mark, as it demands multiple viewings to digest all of the information thrown at you. There's a lot of neat reveals, but it never reached that tears in rain moment.
All those moments will be lost in time. Like tears in rain.
I left the theater cold, unsure, and wondering what I missed. I also can't fully recommend this movie to general audiences, as I'm sure the vast majority of them will be bored to tears. Blade Runner 2049 is a film strictly for movie buffs, sci-fi junkies, and obvious fans of the original. I know this review has been vague, and I also know that as of this recording, I can't fully convey my feelings on the final product. So look out for a spoiler review very soon, and perhaps upon second viewing, my viewpoint of the film will change. For now, I will say that Blade Runner 2049 is without question a cinematic achievement in filmmaking, with all star performances across the board and a nuanced meditation on what it means to be human. I am Nick Casaletto with the Movie Journal, and I will see you soon.